So you do OnlyFans, right?
I do.
Hi, so do you?
No, I don't even know stuff whatever on there.
So I just want to get into that, like, so, because so many men are wondering, a girl. So how did it start off when you met him? Like, how did it about, like?
When I first started dating, how do you genuinely, for real, feel about it? I meet you that way, I'm gonna accept it. But like, if you're a girl that don't do it and then all of a sudden out of nowhere you doing it, I'm gonna be weird about it. But if this is how I meet you, I'm gonna rock with you while you do what you do because that's who you are. You know what I mean?
Okay, so when he's seen it though,
that ain't last long though.
So when he sounded
that's
good.
What he said,
let's get to the real. So let's get to the real. I haven't seen your OnlyFans, but you naked on your, you showing your vagina and everything.
No, not no, but it's a show. You know what I mean? Like I'm very. I think I grew up in a. Like to me, it's just like. Yeah, and
so how did he feel about
entertainment?
Only like when he first seen it and seeing your new content. How does that happen?
I'm not gonna lie, he don't be seeing scrolling through OnlyFans. Like
he don't want to see it.
No.
Sit inside.
Probably so.
With this dude.
No, I don't think he hates it, but I don't think that if it was his personal choice, I don't think that it would be something that he would say. Do you think
if you didn't make the amount you said you make, can I say the amount?
Yeah, you can say.
10 to 25K a month? Now, do you think if there was like 2K a month, he would have said yeah? Or he just saying...
He wouldn't have been with that.
Yeah, like, that is so much money.
9 to 5. Right.
So let's talk about your content. So some girls, they on OnlyFans. Do you think that you would ever OnlyFans?
Well, only because to the person I have told, let's do something. Let's like, only because I'm engaged.
And what he said?
Yeah, he don't really
do that. He that.
But if it was just ask him, like I would never say, I would never give him.
So the blowjob.
I feel like toxic relationships are more fun. Who gave me everything, let me like do whatever I want whenever I want it. I felt empty like inside. I felt lonely. I felt empty. I felt like a hole inside of me. But I feel like now, you know what I'm saying, my man's a little toxic and stuff, but the sex is good. And yeah, I just feel more emotionally connected to that person because we go through certain things and then we make up, you know? So it's like, it's pretty toxic.
So you like bad guys?
No.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it sounds like. You said you had a man, right? He was good to you, right? He helped teach you certain things and everything was good, but you still felt it was like lack of passion or something like that. And now the bad guy, like, he's going to give drama. I think that, like, you're attracted to drama in your life.
I really don't think that though.
Well, you just but you say that you with now is more toxic than the man that you was. Is it more exciting to you? Is it like, well, tell me, like, what do you think it is? Let's dive deep in this. Tell me, like, talk to me, like, tell me what you mean, like what it is, like, is it, you know, obviously he do things differently than it's something that's keeping you. It's something.
No, it's definitely the passion. Like, it's definitely like I feel alive. Like, you know what I mean?
Like a difference. Like if you wake up and you feel like what I'm like, I don't know what today is going to bring. What the other one is.
No, I think I feel more connected, like I said, because we have gone through more things emotionally. Yeah, more.
But that's what it is.
Yeah, like we got through more things emotionally, and then we make up. So it just make us feel like we closer. You know what I mean?
So is it the makeup sex that you addicted to? That so you like the drama, so you can have makeup sex? Like.
So I personally feel like that person has taken me from one space or level in my life to another. So I'm forever grateful. And I also, in the same note, feel like if I was to ever be in the space that I could repay in any way, shape, or form, that. But and the other side of me is like, you can't take it back, and because you've already placed me at this space. So it's like, yeah, unless you want me to fake be with you to keep my shit, then let's just be friends. And it didn't work, and that's that. But you got to continue to, your credit is gonna get messed up. I don't know.
But he continued paying it.
He did continue. He's
still paying it.
Yeah.
And you with another dude.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It's been like I've been with my guy maybe like going on 1 year, and he's been paying my rent.
I would love to meet your guy. He's okay with it.
My man feels like while we have this opportunity, let's stack our bread. So when when it's
like you then. That's why y'all together. That's what that is.
I don't
y'all
know.
two are both like, we're trying to come up.
I wasn't sneaky because if I was sneaky, I would have stayed with the man.
I don't mean sneaky.
Cheating is different. I feel like if someone cheats on you, then yeah, you should take the stuff away because they're being sneaky. They're using you, they're using you. But if you're open about things like I was in this relationship where it just wasn't working, but we remained friends and he was still paying that during our friendship. And I got with my guy. You're not going to stop. I have a question. If like, I didn't say like the whole story from the beginning, but like for like 4 or 5 years. And in the first 2 years, but also helped them build their business. And this, like I dedicated all my space and time and everything to their personal business. And I ended up getting them doing like a whole bunch of things that set them up to be in the, let's say, a night on their space or whatever. So then that's at the second year. I was probably like 23, 24 years old when I did that. So then when the person got me the car and the apartment and everything, I was like 27, but our relationship was already like dying off. We were like friends, but you know what I mean? Until this day, he pays for it. So does it make it different that I helped him become more established or get into a space where those bills are able to be paid off because I helped him get there, even though we're no longer together?
When you say it that way, it is different because now he feels entitled. There's entitlement now. He feels entitled that he owes you, just like you said. If you were in this relationship and you owe him your first big check because you're like, thank you.
Yeah, great.
That's what he's doing for you.
Right.
He's saying, thank you for helping set me up. Without this, I wouldn't have this. And for that, I don't care that you're dating somebody else. I just want to make sure you're straight. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure you're okay. That is a different narrative.
That changes the whole narrative.
Yeah. So that's like the full story from that the beginning.
He's not hurt.
He's not
hurt.
When I got engaged to my new guy, my ex, the one that used to take care of me and all this other stuff, he knew I was engaged. And like 2 weeks later, he's like, marry me. I'll get you a new car. I'll get you whatever you want. But he knew I had just got engaged. So
that's more so I feel like a control thing.
Yeah. How do you feel about toxic relationships?
My this side of me loves it.
That's really what I want to know. Right.
However, I know him better. I think that the mentality on the way, I think the past traumas or having traumas, I'm so, I should say, it's like I think that this is normal.
Are you gonna marry? Would you marry a woman you like that you have a toxic, exciting relationship with?
No, I would never marry a woman that I have a toxic. But however, it's satisfying a side of me that I grew up watching my whole entire life. You understand what I'm saying? So the reason knowing that arguments and the whole 9 yards, like I at one point of my life, like I thought that was what a relationship supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? Until now I don't want to deal with that type of drama, but it is. I understand the drama, the passion behind it.
Before that they were already married, and I just feel like even stepping into a space, like your space, for you to break it up, to tell somebody like that's just disrespectful. Like I feel like we're adults. If you're in a stage where you want to get married, even if it's the wrong choice for your life, it's your life. You know what I mean? Everybody got to go through their phases and stages.
True.
And a marriage, if you're making a decision as an adult for a marriage, if somebody was to tell me they don't want, you're ghetto. Like, no, don't tell me that. I heard about that person so much, you would support them in whatever stage of their life they're in. You can't even if you have a husband, my husband is going to be different stages of life.
Possibly.
Or even your friend, your best friend, they're going to be different ups and downs, and it's like
when
I feel like if
you
genuinely love someone, you just is what I feel. But I'm a stick for the ride. To ever think that a woman should provide, but one way of providing for herself, because with or without you,
okay. But listen,
and men just to do that job, you're gonna be okay with me doing.
All right, what up, everybody? Sorry for the delay. We're going to get activated right now. Guys, let me know. Put a one down in the chat. I think it was clipping the conversation. Let me know if I'm coming through straight before we get this conversation started. I'm not sure why I was particularly doing that. Put a one down if my audio was coming in A-okay, and we're going to get this conversation on the road. Let me know. Let me know. And we're going to get it started. Blu Jasmine is here. We're going to have a conversation. All right, there we go. I see some ones down into the building. I was a little bit thrown off. All right, we're a little bit late. So I don't know what's going on with the audio issues. It's dealing with StreamYard. Shit happens from time to time. But we're going to get this conversation started. Start out to everybody that's down into the building. I want to have this conversation today. I don't want to take too much of your time. But we must get active. So guys, before we get into this conversation, I just want you guys to know from my perspective why I am doing this conversation. I know there was a lot of kind of detractors in the space. It's like, yo, MTR, why are you bringing her up? This, that, and the third after doing the reaction video and then also seeing her thoughts after the reaction video. But I think it's very important to do because I tell you guys all the time. In fact, I did a live stream on this not too long ago, this past Friday, Red Pill Exposed video. If you haven't seen that live stream, that at the end of the day, guys, we got to get out of our echo chambers. We got to continue to have good spirited conversations that those that you may not necessarily agree with, right? In order to pressure test your ideas, because you might learn something new at the end of the day. Okay. So I'm going to take this conversation in a much different way than the previous conversations that she has conducted. Okay, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy where this conversation goes. But in essence, the reason why I wanted to bring her up is because if I think about my life and the women that are in my life, I typically, generally, if ever, especially now, maybe in my younger 20s, don't deal with Blu Jasmines. Generally, I do not. Right? I react to them on this channel. We talk about the way that she makes decisions within the other people on the that I react to on the channel, but generally I steer clear of what it is that she says and that type of personality type, those traits. I generally steer clearly away from them, and I tell you guys to do the same thing as well. I go over video after video where I talk about these things, you know. But people live different lives, and you can't judge them at the end of the day. But there's just different standards, different values, different morals. It just is what it is. So I thought it'd be great to have a conversation to kind of peel back the onion to understand who she is, what she stands for, why her mindset is like that, why her lifestyle is like that, and how it came to be, which is a lot different than the previous conversations that she's had. I'm not here to pass particular judgment on it. I'm here to challenge a bit. As you guys already know, I'm a challenger. All right. But I'm here to really get the insight in the mind behind who I initially thought was a complete opposition with this space, but she's come down in here and done a couple of conversations. But just fact of the matter, she lives in a very different world than the majority of us, right? So I think it'd be good for a healthy, spirited conversation, all right? So I know that there was a lot of errors within the clips, but hopefully you guys kind of got the idea and kind of are reacclimated, up to speed with why she was popping this past week, why she went viral. But I'll bring her up here right now so we can have a conversation with her. All right. So without further ado, hey, Jasmine, how are you? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Can you move over a little? There you go. There it is. All right. Awesome. So listen. So first of all, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
That's the first thing. The second thing is, what happened? Why were you late? And do you have anything to talk about to the audience about
business? No, I'm kidding.
Oh no.
I was at Equinox. My trainer was a little late, and then the traffic was really late, and then I was just all over the place having to rush over here. But I'm here now.
Okay, you here now. Anything to tell to the loyal fans or subscribers that were waiting for our conversation? Anything to say to them?
Well, I apologize that I was late, guys. I did my best to be here, and I'm here.
There it is. Well, listen, I'm happy that you're here, and I'm happy that we can have this particular conversation. So again, thank you for joining. So let's just get right into the conversation. So I know you're from New York, and I believe you're from the Bronx, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So essentially, I don't know if you know this either, but I'm from New York as well. But, you know, we essentially come from very different backgrounds, very different upbringings than in general. So tell us about your upbringing first. And I really want to ask specifically in regards to, did you have a masculine provider, father figure, protector in your life? And if you did or did not, how do you think that impacted the way that you move and interact today and with the opposite sex?
And so, yeah, I had my father. My father was always there for me, especially financially. He wasn't really based in New York the whole time while I was growing up because he had his own things going on. But by the time I was about 12, 13 years old, I had a debit card and he was putting the money in there every week. So I was straight. You know, my dad always made sure that I was straight. And he did that until I was 21 because I did go to college. So up until I finished college, he financially supported me, you know.
Okay. So your father was there as a financial support. Was he also there as a guidance support as well? Was he kind of helping instruct the decisions that you were making throughout your life?
I think he did the best he could, but he was definitely there financially more than anything else. And like anytime I did visit him or see him, like he took me shopping or took me to Toys R Us to buy any and every toy I wanted. And so that was more of what I saw my father as, more than like someone who pointed me in any direction. You know what I mean?
Got it. Okay. So you would say it was much more from a financial perspective, but he wasn't in the household. So he wasn't able to give like a lot of direction with the way that you might have moved within your life, especially with dealing with dudes.
Right. Right.
Okay.
I don't even know if like if we were in the same household that he would be capable of that, because he was definitely just a provider. You know, I don't know
Got
if
it.
he, like more like an emotional kind of, you know, where he would like he was definitely more of a provider.
Got it. Okay. So also too, I want to give you a little bit more context about the space because I'm not sure how familiar you are with the space that essentially I am operating in, but it's essentially called RP, the RP space or the manosphere, and where we try to teach men the dynamic between different genders, that in essence that men should provide and protect their women. In return, women should be submissive, cooperative, if they want to secure a long-term investment for a man. So the things are fundamentally different today in a sense that gender roles are particularly blurred in essence. With that being said, I noticed from your previous interview and in my reaction video, I actually didn't see this, but you talked about it at the eight at the table conversation that you put up the $50,000 to invest into your ex-man's success, which essentially goes against the traditional model of, you know, the man having his life together and getting it, and then, you know, comes into the man's castle. So what do you have to say to those who kind of skip over that part, that you spent 4 to 5 years within, you know, a relationship with him and risk that $50,000 into his success, but yet judge you for expecting support after that?
Well, I personally didn't give him the money, but I, you know, finessed my way. So another nigga ended up giving the money and investing in that business. But that person was already established to, you know, they were already making 6 figures. I just took them to another level of that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, so the people that judge me without knowing, I mean, I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean? I'm going to still get my money. These niggas are still going to want to give me their money. And I'm going to still be me. So, I mean, that viral video got me to this space right here. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I'm doing much wrong.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get active at that. And you know, too, like as the more that I hear you talk, you know, what I think that I just heard is that you finessed another dude in order to give your dude at that time the particular money. So is it safe to say? I mean, I already know the answer to this, but you live a lot more of a get rich or die trying, like fast money world type of a lifestyle, as opposed to kind of a normal civilian life.
Of course, you know, I'm from the streets. I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx. So everything for me is survival. Everything, you know what I mean. Even I think I could be a millionaire, and I'ma still think like, how I'm gonna get this, you know, how I'm gonna get what I want next. And
got it.
I think that's essential for anybody, you know. Obviously, it's unfortunate that I've been through some spaces that put me in that mindset, but at the same time, I'm grateful for it, and I feel like I think that it's an important mindset to have, especially when you want to go and get somewhere. You know what I mean?
So there's a fundamental difference with dealing with dudes as well as women, and more of that fast money, get it how you live, get rich or die trying type of world, versus like the lifestyle that I think most of the men that are down, you know, looking at this YouTube video with at. Can you describe? Have you dated both types of dudes, like dudes from like the civilian life, and as well, I know you've dated the fast money dudes, but have you also dated like more color in the box, color inside the lines type of dudes? And if so, like, what's the difference between the two, if you have?
Unfortunately, I have not dated the regular in the box kind of guy. You know, I've only been with the scammers, the head honcho drug dealer, the athletes. You know, that's been my reality thus far.
So I noticed that you said unfortunately. Tell me more about that. Like why is that unfortunate to you? Because it sounds like you're real happy with the lifestyle right now. So talk about that.
Unfortunately, I can't give my take on it for you guys because I don't understand. You know, I've never been in that space, so that's why I said unfortunately. Because I wish I had, so that I could tell you guys, you know, the difference, but I don't know the difference.
Okay, because I noticed in the beginning when we were talking is that you said that your father was there to be able to financially help you out. So in knowing that he was able to do that, I guess for you, was it not a choice to go down a different path?
I think it was just automatic, you know, like I'm gonna give an example. When I was probably like 14, walking down the street, a guy comes up to me, UPS truck guy. He always delivered to my grandma's house. He said, "Can I have your number?" I had a phone because my father, you know, hooked me up. I had a phone. I had a little Nokia or something. But I told the guy, I don't have a phone. That same day, about 2 hours later, he came back to my grandma's stoop with a brand new phone. He said he paid for it for 6 months. And, you know, he thought I needed a phone. So these are just things that have happened to me naturally throughout my life growing up. And I didn't really necessarily seek it or even before I was finessing it. It was just something that was in my energy. Like it was in my aura. Like it was in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and also too, I was doing a little bit, you know, as I was looking at some of the interviews. I know that you said that you made previously $15,000 to $25,000 a month between different hustles, income from OnlyFans, selling designer clothes, Airbnbs, and so forth and so on. But I want to focus on the OnlyFans real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the men that support you on the OnlyFans are from more of the civilian world or more of the fast money world type of dudes?
I think it's both. I think it could be both potentially because there's times where guys tip me $4,000 in, you know, 3 days. Like the same guy would tip me $4,000 in 3 days. I don't know what in the box guy unless he's going into his 401k. But and then there's guys that, you know, they pay the regular subscription price and then they buy the little bit of videos, the $3 videos, the $5 videos. So it's probably a little bit of both, you know.
Yeah, you know, and I had an interview with a phone sex operator about a year ago, and she talks about kind of that some of them understand that of what it is, that, you know, it's just kind of of some type of exchange. But do you think that your fans know that it's either about money or that you have a genuine interaction with them? And keep it a buck on this one because I'm really interested about this one.
In regards to OnlyFans?
Yeah.
I think that, you know, there's men that like gambling, there's men that like drinking, and there's men that love women. And so I don't know if they care about the genuine whatever going on. I think that, you know, it's an attraction. They like it. They want to spend their money on it. That's what they work hard or wherever they work and they want to spend their money on that. That's what they enjoy. Me.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, you know, we live in this age of like, do it for the gram. You know what I mean? Like, not a lot of women truly understand what happens on the back end. And you mentioned that, you know, you get the money without having to deal with men, you know, from Airbnbs, OnlyFans, selling clothes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You also mentioned that you used to dance. So, you know, there's clearly like levels to this game. You know what I'm saying? So I went through your Instagram just for a little bit and I didn't see any pictures of like what I thought that I might see, which was like trips to Dubai. You know what I'm saying? So I guess like the question that I have is that, you know, for the girls who think like on that Dubai level of game, right, that it's all glitz and glamour. Meanwhile, there's a major cost to that type of a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Can you give them more insight on the different levels to it?
Well, just because you don't see the pictures don't mean I'm not there. Every time I go away, I'm not really on my phone like that. And I'm very picky. Like I need my specific photographer with my specific makeup artist and my specific, you know what I mean? Because it got to be all together. So I do go away. I do go on trips. I'm always, you know, everywhere, living my little city girl lifestyle. But it's not always documented or recorded for Instagram because Instagram to me is a business. You know what I mean? So I don't always, like when I'm on vacation and I'm super drunk and I'm out and I'm having all this, I'm not really focused on taking pictures for Instagram like most people are. I don't show my lifestyle or, you know, I don't show my apartment. I don't show my car. I don't show my bank account. I don't show how much money I got. I don't show my Airbnbs. Like my Airbnbs are on a separate name than the name you guys know. You know what I mean? So I'm not really here to floss it. You know, I'm living it.
Got it. Okay. So let me ask you another hypothetical question. And this goes back to something that you mentioned earlier. So if you had the choice of two different types of dudes, right? The first one is kind of still on the come up, you know, but he's street, you know, got the potential to be a boss and his energy really appeals to you, but needs 10K to like do whatever, cop some bricks or what have it, versus like a rich square dude who you don't really connect with at all. I gotta see which of the two would you rather pick and tell me why.
I'm taking the rich square dude.
Really?
Because it seems like he got ambition. He's smart. It seems like he could teach me a couple things. I'm swagged out, so I don't need my partner to be swagged out. You know what I mean? Like he could be a square, opposites attract. And I just don't feel like I'm not at the like. I more so want to be invested in because I'm at a space where I'm trying to grow and get places, and I'm not here to, you know what I mean, invest in someone else. Like I feel, you know, I'm not that person, unfortunately for them.
Okay. And let me pause real quick. Everybody that's down into the chat, y'all better stop disrespecting me. We had 2,500 concurrent viewers. I don't even see 1,000 likes. Guys, hit on that like button. Hit on that like button. All right. That's interesting. I'll be honest. I thought you was gonna say the former as opposed to the latter. So I guess like if you could do it all over again, you would choose a rich square dude. So I was saying that. So if you could choose to do it all over again, you would rather choose a rich square dude as opposed to this, which reminds me early in the conversation when I brought it up, you said, unfortunately, I haven't dated a dude like that. So what do you think of the components about yourself that you would have to change? I know you're engaged right now, so it's a little bit too late. But if you were to do it over again before you got engaged, what do you think would be the components about yourself that you would have to alter in order to get a rich square dude?
That I would have to alter?
Yeah, change.
I don't have to change anything. I've been getting rich square dudes.
So if you've been getting them, but if I just set up that question and you chose the rich square dude and not the get rich or die trying type of a dude, then why couldn't you just get them?
What you mean? I did. What you mean? How you know I don't got them? Are
you currently with a rich square dude?
A rich square dude currently pay all my bills.
Okay, so that's the first one. That's the so you would describe him as a rich, because I had this question as well. Like, is it that he has so much money, or if that, you know, paying for your lifestyle is just a drop in the bucket, or is he just simp and he's barely kind of getting by and he's just has no other options?
It's definitely a drop in the bucket. He definitely has a lot of options, a lot of beautiful women. And he probably helps other beautiful women as well. I'm not sure. I don't know his personal finance business, but it's definitely a drop in the bucket.
Okay. And I think that's a question that a lot of people didn't hit on as well. The fact that it is probably insignificant within the amount of money that he potentially has. But that's what you're saying. So he's not a simp. He just got it like that and doesn't care. The extra, whatever, $6,000 per month is nothing to him.
Exactly.
Okay. That's interesting. Like information at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there are some things which, you know, obviously that you understand about men, which maybe we just don't see because, you know, you have all of these dudes that are currently financing whatever situations that you're currently in, right? And a lot of us, especially me, I've never liked strip clubs or anything like that. And I think that you said previously that you've been a dancer. So what's some of the ugliest things that you've experienced about men within your life and how they view women, and especially women like you, right? Do they look at you as an object, as a prize? But either way, what do you hate about some of those dudes that look at you like that?
I think it depends on the type of man you're talking about. There's two types of men. You know, there's someone with a hood mentality that get rich or die trying, and then there's a gentleman who's like focused on work and focused on money and focused on those type of things that I've personally experienced. I think that the hood guy is more, and I said this before, I feel like hood men have very high expectations of their woman, but meanwhile they cannot they don't match up to their expectations. Where I feel like it's a lot of times that men that have money or that are more secure in their personal space, like they'll take you as you growing. You know what I mean? They like you as like, oh, like they're already in a stage. Like a lot of these guys that I've dated or been with have been 5 to 10 years my senior my whole life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like they let me be my wild self. You know what I mean? Like they like that, or they appreciate just the person that you are, even if you're growing, even if you don't have your character, your morals, or whatever in place. They understand that it's growth. You know what I mean? They understand that it's yeah.
Yeah. So like. So would you describe the dudes who finance components of your life? Would you describe them as strong dudes? Would you describe them as alpha dudes?
Yeah, for sure. Of course. These are bosses who make, $500,000 and who have a lot of people under them. So I don't see how a man like that could be, you know what I mean, weak in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, well,
$1 million businesses and to have, 50 to 150 workers under you that you pay and that you know what I mean?
Yeah. And some of the concepts over here that we talk about is that there's you know, a difference between, you know, a dude that's financially savvy and then a dude that, you know, can understand, you know, what he's spending his money on and getting a proper ROI on it, right? Like if you take a look at the dude who's currently financing where you're living, you know, he's getting 0 ROI. I mean, he's not in a relationship with you. You've already said before that he's not getting the viscous innards, as I like to call it, on this channel. All right. He's not getting any of that, but you would still describe him as an alpha?
Of course. I feel like in this moment, he isn't receiving anything, but I feel like it's important for women to get with men who are already established and have a certain level of achievement, because then they can see those things in you. You know what I mean? There's many times that guys, they can't see what they don't have. So if I'm broke and I don't have ambition and I see a girl with ambition, I can't feel her. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's important for women to get with men that are already established and achieved, because, you know, when you chasing like me, I'm chasing, you know, other than 8 at the table, I've done skits, I've done many other things prior to. So I've been on the internet for about 3 years. You know, this is my first time going viral, but I've gone viral for other things, not talking. So it's like, in time, you know, obviously if I get to where I'm going, these people that looked out for me, I'm looking out for them. We on the same team. We at the same table. You know what I mean? Without them, I ain't eating. So.
Let me ask this question as well. Do you have respect for men? Like, do you have respect for men? Do you respect men? Because, and I'm saying this from the perspective, let me give you the additional context. We also go over content on the channel as well that goes over kind of this men is trash kind of movement. You know, this men ain't shit. Men ain't never gonna da-da-da-da-da. So, you know, I want to hear from you. Like, how do you estimate the modern man today? Do you have respect for them?
It depends on I don't know, what's a modern man to you? Like the everyday man? Because, you know, some men like to be disrespected. Some men like to be dominated. Some men like to be financially abused. Some men like, you know what I mean? For me to talk my shit to them and tell them, send me my bread right now. Like, I want my money right now. I'm here right now and I need it right now. And then they like that and they send it over. You know, so it depends on you talking about the everyday, like, you have to explain what the man you talking about.
Well, here's the thing. I actually did a video on that earlier this week. It was called Financial Domination. I didn't even know that it exists. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
That's my shit.
Yeah. God damn, you's a savage. Listen, so you be going on those websites and just say, give me money right now. And but we just talked about But we just talked about like the money component. So do you think that those dudes are alphas because they can financially support when you ask for it?
So there's different levels. I mean, those dudes are definitely alpha in their everyday life, but sometimes they want to give that up. You know what I mean? For that moment. And
damn.
Because I'm the type of woman that when I'm in a real serious relationship, I become submissive. Although I'm an alpha all around everywhere else 24/7, you know? So I wouldn't take away their masculinity just because they want to be dominated by a beautiful woman in a moment in time, you know?
I just never thought or considered, because I feel like I'm so structured within my life. I just never knew that there was a market of dudes who want to be emasculated. Right? It just never occurred to me that, and sometimes I ask myself, like, where does this come from? Like, is this like, you know, is this coming from the media? Like, is it?
No, it's a release. You know what I mean? It's a release. Imagine you have 200 people under you. You pay people's, you know, lives basically, and you know, you telling people what to do all the time. You making sure everything's running in order. You the boss. You know what I mean? Like, for one moment in time, you want to just not be that.
I don't know if it's a release. Maybe they have it in their spirit without, you know what I'm saying, and they're pretending the entire time, which is why, like, I was questioning how you understand the word alpha and how you estimate it for those type of people, because I think, like, you know, it's like the difference, like integrity, right? You know what I'm saying? It matters what you do in public and in private to determine if you have integrity within your life. And I think it's also similar with being a highly masculine, high degree of manhood, alpha type of a dude, if you want to use that term. I think it's not only what you do in public, but also what you do in private as well. You know what I'm saying?
Do you view me as an alpha woman from how I speak, how I carry myself?
I view you as a hustler. I view you as a hustler, and I said it in the introduction. Typically, if I come across,
would you say I'm alpha or beta? If you was to put me in a room full of people, would you think I'm gonna be a beta or alpha?
No disrespect. Here's what I wouldn't say either. I would say you grew up in the hood and you adopted a lot of masculine tendencies. But no, I'm not saying that from a disrespectful perspective.
I don't care.
But I am saying that because, like I said, I'm from New York as well. And generally, when I was back there, I would, if I see highly masculine women in New York, like, to me, like at that time, I didn't even understand the dynamics between masculine and feminine. But now, as I've gotten older and I begin to understand the yin and the yang that it would take for a man and a woman to be truly happy within a relationship with no toxicity, I began to understand that a lot of what I saw in New York was young girls with highly masculine, get rich or die trying, you know what I'm saying? Some shit pop off. They want to bust out windows. They want to key up cars and everything like that. Right. But it comes from, when I say masculine, it comes from a wounded perspective. It's not like true masculinity. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I would necessarily assign alpha or beta within this conversation, but I would definitely assign masculine tendencies, masculine energy within you. What do you think about that?
I mean, I guess those men are alpha men with feminine tendencies. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's why I think that this particular sector of the internet is so important, because I think that there's a lot of dudes out there that are just lost, right? Like, and you may not describe it as lost. It seems like you describe it as alpha, but I would describe it, and this whole space would describe it as lost young and old men. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, that they need some type of release for whatever it is, however they alpha within their life.
Release. It could also be, you know, that they may enjoy, you know what I mean? They just may feel good doing these type of things. You know what I mean? Some people buy clothes, some people buy sneakers, some people drink, some people, you know, different people enjoy different things.
Yeah. So would you say that the dude who's currently financing where you live right now is happy doing that, or he just don't care? You there?
During the
I was started to lock up.
What's going on? Hello?
You there?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me. Okay. All right. Looked like the internet was going out. So go ahead. We didn't hear anything.
I feel like during this whole time, he for the most part he didn't care. And then now that this has gone viral, and you know, he sees, you know, he's a money person, so he sees, you know, where it could potentially go. He's happy that he's done this for me. You know what I mean? He's happy that he did stick around and do this for this period of time. So, yeah, I think it depends on the person's ambition, who you're doing these things for. You know, if they're absolutely going nowhere in life, then, you know, there's no return. But if you believe there's a return, you may keep investing, although you haven't seen one just yet, you know?
Yeah. You know, I can't fathom how he's happy about that, because I think I also saw, I think I put in the introduction how he, as soon as he found out that you were engaged, he asked you to marry him right after that, because for like maybe control, right? So I don't know how he's happy financing you.
He literally
asked me husband.
This would happen. I was in a dealership. I called him and I was like, hey, can you get me a new car? And he was like, yeah, but you just got engaged. I'm like, yeah, but I need a new car. Like right now, I want to get this 2-door or whatever. I wanted to change my car. And he was like, yeah, I'll get it for you, but like you have to marry me, and then I'll upgrade your car and I'll upgrade this. And he said that one time, and then like after that, it's never been like word of that. You know what I mean? So I think he was just in his feelings in that moment. Because after that, he never mentioned me marrying him or before that. You know what I mean? I think it was just in that moment. Not sure why, but
yeah. I don't know. I'd love to be able to talk to him. I love to be able to talk to that young man, just to understand, just to provide additional context to the type of human being that he is, what traumas he has experienced, what his upbringing was like. Because for the life of me, even if I was a billionaire, I would still look at that line item. My accountant would bring me that line item, and I would look at it and I would say, no, get her out of here. What? She's talking about cutting and burning all my shit? Excuse me, 911, would you please remove this lady from my domicile? That, you know, but at the same time, right, like, you know, I like structured living. I like structured life. It just sounds like, you know, he just lives like a awkward lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I don't know. I feel like people are obviously they don't have anything to draw. Like they haven't spoken to him, so they don't have any like
We lose her again.
hello?
All right, yeah, we lost you for a quick second.
I don't know what you last heard.
You said people don't really know him.
Yeah, so obviously it's hard for you guys to like draw a conclusion as to like what type of guy this is, and the majority of people don't have this type of money, so they don't even know where to understand why somebody like this would do this. And a lot of people that have opinions don't have this money, you know what I mean? Because it hasn't stopped the football players from being in my DM, the athletes. It hasn't stopped any of those people that are big.
Yeah, we gotta get that young man to pay for her for better Wi-Fi signal. All right, you back?
This Wi-Fi is acting up.
Damn, son.
Hello,
All right.
you hear me?
Yeah. We got you.
Yeah,
All right,
basically,
so listen.
I feel like the broke people have opinions, and the big step is their business and getting their money as they should.
Wait. I think I missed some of that. You said you don't care about broke people's opinions.
No. I said I think the broke people are the ones with the most opinions, and I feel like the big steppers is staying quiet, minding their business, and getting their money as they should. I feel like the majority of the people that are giving comments could never even, have this lifestyle.
Look. I don't know if she's got Cricket Wireless.
I don't know what's going on.
Come on. All right. Well, here's the thing. You know what I think that it is. And you are entitled to your opinion, but I think like now that we have a space for men to talk men shit, I think men are concerned about men. And I think, irrespective of what the income of the man is, if they're in the space, then they look at behavior like this and they think, God damn, he's a simp, or God damn, he's a loser, or God damn, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So, but I also wanted to ask you this, and I kind of alluded to this question before, but, let's say you grew up in, maybe a much more kind of normal lifestyle, right? You grew up in a different situation, which allows you to be something different in life, right? What would you have had? What would you have become if you had the option to, if you could start from the jump, right? Go to the right schools, graduate from, and go to the right colleges, what have you, and get a good job. Like, what do you think your life would have been, or what you would have become?
I mean, I can't say at this point I would have been the same bitch because, I would have been the same woman because it hasn't led me the wrong way. It hasn't strayed me the wrong way. I can't really say anything that, you know what I mean, I would do differently.
Okay. Yeah.
I love my life.
Yeah. So I hear some things that are contradicting themselves as you speak about it, because when we talked about like if you had the opportunity for a rich square dude or to get rich or die trying to life, you said I would choose the rich square dude. You know what I'm saying? So, but to say if you had the opportunity to kind of do this life over again, right? Because if you led that type of lifestyle where you had a pick of the litter of where you grew up, the high school that you went to, the college that you went to, and this, that, and the third.
But you basically still saying that I would have to work. I would have to go to school and pick a.
Okay, we're losing you again.
No?
Okay, you're back. So you would say you would have to work is where we last heard.
Saying if I could choose not to have men giving me money, which means they going to work for me not to choose that option. You're saying that if I was to choose a school and a career and, get up every morning and go to a job and, build those type of things, I don't think I would do it different. Like, I feel like if I was to grow up prissy, I probably would have had rich niggas since younger. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my. So I think that, okay, I get it. So, and here's the thing is that like, there's a, I think you know what you know, right? And one of the things that we touched on is that you don't know what it's like to date a rich square dude because you haven't had the opportunity to. So I think that, you know, maybe it's hard to envision what those things would be or like what woodworking be. And here's the thing is like the majority of the women that's down and that watch the content over here are much more likely to want to date a dude so that makes enough money so they don't have to work anyway. Right. So I would say that the goals are particularly similar. I just think that with your upbringing, you've come about it a much different way. One, two of which that, you know, requires, you know, OnlyFans and kind of, you know, all these kind of hustling things and dudes who, you know, text you, hey, how are you doing? And you say, send me money, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know, is an odd lifestyle. It's an odd lifestyle.
I would personally say that even in caveman times, the man had to, you know what I mean, find a cave, get the food, and do the job. You know, the woman was doing what the woman was doing. It don't matter. I think this is just like a man's role and a woman's role. Obviously, this is 2021. You know what I mean? So there's different things that come into play, like materialism and all those other things. But from the beginning of time, caveman times, men had to do the bulk of the work if they wanted the woman and to put her in that cave or to put her in that tent. Women was not building tents. Like women was not, you know what I mean? So
facts. Yeah, no, and I'm totally with you with that point. They wasn't doing that. They were doing other things. I often say that the men were the producers and the women were the reproducers. So, exactly. but I think that the point still remains is whether or not
women would go out their way to get pregnant by this type of man and trap him. I'm not trying to trap none of these men. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to have a baby and get rich that way by having a child. No, I'm just, you know, giving them my loyalty, my time, and they giving me what they got to offer.
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, what I always say over here that, you know, there's men within our society that enable this type of behavior, right, wrong, or indifferent. It just is what it is.
To enable.
Yeah. So you also talked about before, you know, the types that are hitting you up. So even though you have a child, even though you have an OnlyFans, and even though you are engaged, you still get DMs from celebrities, athletes, rappers, entertainers is what I'm hearing. Do these kind of men, you know, do they really hit you up? Or like what goes down in the DM? Like what are they asking you? You don't bring up any names, but like give us some insight.
Well, since this last viral clip, I've still have them type of people saying like, where you at? When can I see you? You want to go shopping? You know what I mean? Those type of things that they know the type of woman I am because it's very obvious and blatant all over the internet. And it's not stopping them.
Yeah. So it's not stopping them, but how does your fiance feel about that? Does he allow these things to happen for the bag?
Well, because of my current situation, I don't play into it. But what I'm saying is it's not stopping them from looking for me. They didn't stop checking for me. You know what I mean? I've been in this relationship for a year, but prior to, they was always checking for me as well. And then since this clip went viral, they haven't stopped. It's not bringing them away.
So let's just say that you broke up with your boyfriend or your fiance today. How many other men, if you were to guesstimate, how many other men would you have to choose from? Right? Like what type? Let's get into the options. Is this tens of men, hundreds of men, thousands of men?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not counting. It's a lot though.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a I can't count, you know. I mean, it's a lot, you know. Today, I was just saying today, I had to go get a new phone because my phone fell down and it broke or whatever. And somebody was trying to pay for my phone. And I was like, no, it's okay. Because I had another nigga's credit card on me. So I'm like, no, it's okay. And he got really mad that I didn't let him pay for my phone. He was really upset. Like he really wanted to pay for my phone. And, you know, this was like a street person. So I don't think that, you know, there was beta in him. It didn't seem like it. But he was like, you know, telling the other people, like, can you tell her I really got it? He took out a wad of money. Can I take you out tonight? And I was just, you know, in my own little world. So I was like, no. But men want to pay for shit. They want to pay for women's shit. They feel good taking care of women, as y'all should.
Yeah. Well, you know, but here's the thing is that I think that a man in a masculine provider role, you know what I'm saying, should do that for those that are worthy, right? So then my next question to you is, what is this guy to you, right? Like, because if he's just paying for shit just to pay for shit, then he's a confused young man.
I mean, he's not. That was my best friend for a long time. You know what I mean? And I would still consider that I think that's that's my lifetime friend. You know what I mean? Like forever we will be friends. So what was the question once more? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the question was what is his relationship to you? Because if you
Oh
just
yeah, I feel
say
like
that,
that's my family now. At this point, like, and we're gonna be friends forever. You know what I mean? I'll slide for him. Like, he knows that. You know?
is it really friends? Because if you said, "Hey, listen, come over. I just got out of this engagement. Come through." Would he not come through? Because friends
Would not
don't
all
typically
men
have
come
sex
through?
with friends.
Would not all men come through? Dominicans be having sex with their cousins. Like,
Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So I don't know. No, what I say this is that men and women cannot be friends generally unless you met the lady before puberty, right? If you met her before puberty, you guys were friends in puberty, during that time, then maybe you can be like friends. You know what I'm saying? But is it really a friend if he's buying you something thinking that, like, man, if I buy this for her, that's gonna make her feel like good about herself and make her think that I'm more an alpha, and then I might get a chance sometime in the future.
How do you know that's what he's thinking? What if he's thinking, if I buy this for her, she's gonna feel good, and that's gonna make me feel good?
Because men want exchanges. We typically don't just do things without an ROI.
You can't speak for every single man in the world. There are men who love women and who got enough money to take care of them, and that makes them feel good.
Yeah, and here's the thing, because I know it's true because I look at the financial domination websites and I'm like, what the hell is this shit? But the thing is like, I think it's backwards. I don't think it makes sense, and I think it comes from a lot of conditioning from our society as well as kind of some of the backward things that happen in the hood. And I think that, like, at the end of the day, the dudes will do things like that. They kind of get sacrificed with their money and shit. But then there's women that were blessed genetically, right? That can take advantage of confused dudes.
Mm-hmm. So are you for the manosphere or whatever, right? Are men who cheat worthy?
I don't think men should cheat. Okay. I think
but the reality
that there's options. I don't think women should cheat. If you're in a committed relationship, and I think everything should be out in the open, everything should be free. But I think men should exercise their options, but I don't think that things should be happening behind their back.
So you've never cheated on anybody?
I have not ever cheated. No.
Okay.
I've also not been in a lot of relationships because I know what I like. You know what I'm saying? So me knowing that, I'm just not going to get any relationships because you don't necessarily need relationships to get the insides. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And you don't need relationships to get the coin.
Hey, listen, and I'm not knocking the hustle at the end of the day, because my thing is, it's like, this is funding your life, but not just funding your life, it's funding it very well. So there's things out there. I just think that it's a little bit backwards for young men to think in that type of way, right? As to say, I'm going to give you money, even though there's no particular ROI on that money, even if you're engaged in a relationship. I think it's weird.
So how about the women? I think it's weird that the women are allowing you inside and you got nothing to offer them. But what you got? But yeah, respectfully.
Well,
that's weird to me. I feel like that's a donation, like charity, like donation pussy, like.
So I hear you, but if we're dating, right, on the way to a relationship, if we're in that,
because you get the insides without much, so that's where that point comes from.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, there's a little bit of a lag. Yeah, no. So I hear you, right? That there has to be an even exchange. But if you're dating and if something happens, and it is what it is at the end of the day. So I mean, people only allow what they need to have happen, and so it is what it is. No, but I totally hear you.
And another thing is, an even exchange for you would mean that I would want sex as much as you do. But we could both agree that men want sex more than most women, and women want to be spoiled and catered to more than men.
I mean, yeah, but both people. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think both get pleasure. I think men are more overt with their want of sex. I think I think women are more covert with their want of sex.
It depends. I would say I'm asexual because I don't need dick. Like, I'm good off that. I need coin. I need money. I don't really care for that. You know what I mean? If I'm dating somebody, I don't really care for, like, as much as he would want to fuck me. I probably don't want to fuck as much as him. I probably want to go shopping as much as he want to fuck.
Yeah, but that's one of the things that we talked about, like the idea that women want sex less than men. I don't think that that's necessarily true. I think it's about 50-50. And actually, if you look at the statistics around the numbers around cheating and shit like that, women are like 5% lower than men, and that's admitting to it, right? I think men are more apt to admit to it than women.
They probably cheating with a richer nigga.
It don't matter. It's cheating. It don't matter if they rich, if they poor. It don't matter.
But I'm saying,
like,
my whole thing is, I just feel like you're saying.
I can get what you say. If cheating with a rich dude is somehow going to give them financial gain because that's their business. So I hear you, but that is a fringe component of society, right? Like, I hope you understand it. Like, the world is very big. People typically don't live like that.
You just said you could get the insides without really having to have like commitment, relationship, and all that. And me as a woman, I cherish, you know what I mean? Because I feel like that's my worth. I feel like once I give it to Tom, Dick, Harry, up the block, down the block, it's worth nothing. And I preach this even in the other show. I don't know if you saw it. That I tell girls all the time, like, once you put the pussy on a nigga, my advice to all the women on this show, you want to get a nigga to, you know what I mean, do what you want. Make him eat your pussy like 2-3 times before you let him fuck.
Whoa. Language.
Sorry. Let him go down there or whatever. Because I feel like once you give them that prize, which is so special and so whatever, they your worth. But see,
that is the delusion, that worth, that prize, that. I mean, that's all media. That's media. That's R&B songs back in the 80s. That's not real. And that's the thing, is like that type of talk. But listen. That hold on. That type of talk is why dudes just pay for shit for you, because see, there's 50% women on this planet and there's 50% men. You guys are not rare. You're not rare, right? So like, to assume that it's a special place down there, and it's not. And I know it's not, because you exchange it for money, right? You exchange it for money. And the thing is like, when we talk about traditional versus modern mindset, like the idea of exchanging it like that, like the more bodies that you have would devalue you in the dating marketplace going into the future.
And that's a fact.
Okay.
The more partners you have as a woman devalues you.
Yes.
As a woman. As a man, it may not, but as a woman, it does. And so I don't exchange my, you know what I mean, my God-given, for money.
I appreciate that.
But for time, for time, I do. For my time, because my time is ticking,
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate your manual edit, because YouTube just they'll pop you for weird things up here. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you this as well. So I don't know if you noticed this, but I believe WAP Cardi B just got Video of the Year, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I honestly, when I look at you, we have a conversation, I see a lot of Cardi B type things within you, right? Like guys are both from the BX. You guys were both dancers. Right. Like I think you dabbled in music a little bit. And you've also mentioned you don't cook, you don't clean, kind of all of these different things. Even though, you put 50 bands up to help a dude who's 10 years older than you get established. Right. So what cultural impact does WAP have on the younger women today? And try to take a look at this question, both from the type of lifestyle that you're in, but then the majority of people, their lifestyle they're in, right? Like more that civil color in the lines type of lifestyles. What do you think is the impact on songs like that today?
I feel like it's empowerment. I feel like it's empowerment for women. You hear men talking about all the stuff they talk about, degrading women in their songs. You know what I mean? Then there's women in the videos on top of that. So I feel like it's about time we take our power back, and we we glorify what's ours and what we carry around with us, and our biggest work, which is our, big brr,
So you think the brr or the viscous innards is a woman's biggest worth?
Next to her mind.
Wait a minute, you didn't say mind though. So why is there not a wet ass mind song, but there's a wet ass brr song?
Because everybody.
Oh.
Because everybody we was just talking about it. You want to get in the insides for nothing. So you want to get in some wet ass. Brr.
No, I want mine first. I want good structure in the way that she thinks about life. You know what I'm saying? I want her to be able to hear what I'm going through in a particular situation and give me insight back. You know what I'm saying? I can get viscosity anywhere, but what's more rare is the mindset. I want to respect the way that she thinks. I want to respect the way that she conducted herself with her body, right? Within, you know, other situations that she's been into previously within her life. Like, again, there's 50% men on this planet and 50% women. You know what I'm saying? Like, vagina is not rare. The viscous sentence are not rare. But I would much rather a good mind. Like what I did back in my 20s and shit like that is not necessarily. And listen, on the channel too, I talk about the negatives of putting the vagina, the viscous innards on a pedestal throughout your 20s and not focusing on developing and building yourself up as a dude, like as a man, right?
But you know, ain't much 20-year-olds paying bills because they broke. So we talking about older, you know, we talking about 32, 35, 40, you know what I mean? We talking about 28, 29, more established ages. Early 20s, I don't think you should focus on that either. You know, as a woman, you should focus on your bag, and as a man, you should focus on how you're going to get your bags. You could get the women.
Yeah. Well, you know, because I hear whop, and I don't see empowerment. I actually think it's an embarrassment that I got video of the year, that it's getting even more press for something where she can't even play the song in front of her children. You know what I'm saying? Because when you think about like the cultural impact, right? Like you also got to think about who is accessing the songs as well, which is young girls. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know if you have a young boy or a young girl, but like, is it something that you would play in front of them because it's empowering?
Well, I have a boy.
Okay.
And yeah, I feel like I've always been very open, and I feel like my relationship with my child has a very open mind as well, just because I've always been a very open-minded person. You know what I mean? So yeah, and it's also you gotta teach your child what's real, what's pretend. You know what I mean? So I would play the whap whap in front of my child.
Holy moly. So I just did a conversation with Sister Shahrazad Ali, and she was talking about one of the things as parents. I'm not a parent, by the way, but one of the things as parents we got to do is stop showing so much sexually explicit material to them so early, because it corrupts and pollutes their mind going into the future. You know what I'm saying? So you would still play it for your...
You know what I never got about this? Like, if you go to France, there's penis statues and titties and vagina statues all over the place. I feel like it depends on this, like the culture in which you live. So United States, we may have this mindset. Europeans may be more open-minded. So Asians may be like super closed-minded. You know what I mean? And I'm not being like racist. I'm just using these things
I get you.
From what I've seen. So I think, you know, in where we are now in the United States, people have opinions and stuff like that, and they're not as open-minded, but I feel like we're getting there. You know what I mean? I feel like.
Yeah. So I've been over there, and the thing is that, yeah, they have statues like that, but it's not sexualized like it is in the United States. Like comparing Wet Ass Viscosity, the song by Cardi B, versus statues of Greeks that have, you know, their stuff out. Like one is sexualized and the other is not. Like, let me give you another example too. I did a study abroad in Finland, which is the home place of the creation of the sauna. And, you know, people from in Finland, they all go to it, and they all go to it naked. And I'm like sitting there talking to them with my American ass, and I'm just like, wait a minute, everybody on your block goes to the same sauna naked? And they were like, yeah. And I was just like, wait a minute, that's not weird for y'all? And they were like, no, we all just do it. And it blew my goddamn mind that was like a normal thing. So it's not sexualized to the degree that it is over there when you see different cultures and customs that might have to do with nudity. But when you take a song that says explicitly about spit in my mouth and all of this stuff like that in regards to sexuality, and you play that on the radio, and then, or it gets spins on Twitter, and there's young people that are looking at the information like that, it could go into the corruption of those young people. No?
I don't know. I grew up listening to hip hop, watching music videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
So let me also ask, so what advice do you have for dudes that come from like more my type of lifestyle? You know what I'm saying? A lot more color inside the lives. Like, you know, average dudes who, you know, fiend for like the fast money girls, right, on the gram or on OnlyFans. Like, how would you advise them to find a woman who is more in their league? Like, if they really wanted to do that.
Repeat that question again. I'm sorry.
So yeah, no, that's no problem. So what advice do you have for dudes that like, you know, are not about that get rich or die trying type of a lifestyle, right? Like just like the average modern dude who fiends for the hot Instagram models, you know, the money girls, the OnlyFans girls. Like, how would you advise them to find a woman who's actually in their league?
Who's in their league?
Yeah.
But you're mentioning people that's outside their league, right?
Well, yeah, because I think it's a particular problem. Like, you know, if you go out to like, name the IG model and you look all up in the comment section, or if you look in their DMs, like even for example, you're getting DMs from young men that are probably not what you would describe in your league, right? They don't have the money that you would be looking for or anything like that. So any advice for those dudes that are trying to get women that are out their league?
Get your money up. Get your money up. I just feel like women that are outside your league want more than what you obviously can provide, whatever that may be it money, most likely it's money. So yeah, I would just say get your money up. Focus on getting money. The woman is always going to be there. I know your mother told you that when you was young. Focus on getting money. The women are going to follow. You know what I mean? And I feel like every man should focus on that.
What's so interesting is that I talk about that on the channel as well. I agree with the get money. And we go over specifically, you know, especially within my Patreon and my Discord server, to go over ways to be able to get it up. You know what I'm saying? So, and let me also ask this as well, because you just detailed that you do have a son, and I'm not going to cast any judgment on you or anything like that. But, you know, so let's say that you came from a different world, hypothetically. You know, what advice would you give to your son if he got himself involved with like a more fast living, fast money type of a woman, right? Like, how would you tell him that it's either out of his league, or would you tell him that?
Well, I tell my son now. He asked me to buy a gift for a girl, $100 little chain or whatever for a girl for Valentine's Day, and I told him, listen, I'm gonna do it this one time. But if you can't afford the type of things you want to do with a girl, like go to the movies, take her to the store, get her something to eat, you shouldn't have a girlfriend. Until you in a space, like you should just talk to different girls. And I feel like that. If you have no money, just fuck the hoes just do things with the girls that's going to let you do things with them for nothing. You know what I mean? Just stick to that.
Okay. All right. So, and let me ask you this last question as well. And I think I know the answer to this. So I was going to ask, do you think women should freely give sex to men at all, in a sense of hooking up for just fun? Or should it always be a money exchange when that's happening?
I don't think it's a money exchange. I'm not necessarily saying it, but I feel like you should be with a man of value before you give your most valuable thing away. And they should prove to you the value that they bring to your table. You know what I mean? I don't think it's about money. It could be about resources. You know, you could know XYZ person that's going to help me get XYZ place. And that is important for my life. And until a man shows you the value that he brings to you, you should not give him the most valuable, you know, your temple. That's your body, you know, that it's inside of us. Your thing is outside of you.
Do you think that men should look for value when choosing to support a woman?
When choosing to support a woman, yes, I think that, you know, like I said, the reason why I tell women to go for an achieved or ambitious man is because he can see things of value. You know, that's where he's going to put his money, his work, his worth. And so I think that men should, you know, go after women that they feel is going to get somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I get you. So if women should not just do it for free, right? There should be some type of exchange, right? They should make sure that they're going for a man of value. Then, you know, on the flip side, but you also have dudes that are giving you things with no perceived value back, right? So I think dudes would generally hear that and be like, well, it seems like there's a weird double standard of putting what women want on a pedestal, but not caring about what a man puts, what a man thinks.
Repeat that.
So there's a difference between, so when you describe what women should do, or what the type of the dudes that they should be looking for, right, for these type of relationships, sexual relationships, what have you, you have a lot of talking points as to what they should amount to. But when I ask you from a man's perspective, right, I get confused because there are men that are giving you money with no derived value at all. So it seems as though you support women's empowerment, sexual liberation, get in the bag, you know, even if it's with using your insides, but it seems to be at the cost of men.
Okay. So just one last time, I don't use my insides to get the bag. Okay. At all. That's not what I do. I don't promote that. Anybody that I teach the game to, I tell them, once you fuck someone, it's hard to get what you want and what you need. You know what I mean? Unless they already in, you know? So I don't promote just giving it up to get things. Like, I don't promote that. But yeah, I think, you know, you guys as men, you want so much power. You want so much, you know, you guys speak like this, like with this, I'm not going to say toxic masculinity, but that's the vibe that these type of, like, I don't know your show because I never watched it specifically, but I would just imagine that you try to teach men like this masculinity. And I just feel like you should stand in that. You know what I mean? You want to be the man of the world. You want to be the man. You want to control women, or not control, but, you know, you feel like you are, I wouldn't say above women, but you feel like you, I don't know how to say it. Sorry, I'm a little lost. I'm a little stuck right now.
No, that's cool. Well, you know, what we teach over here is that, you know, dudes, work on yourself, work on your values, work on your morals. You know what I'm saying? Get your money up, all of those different things, and get into that high masculine role, but only settle for a agreeable, a fit, a feminine woman that treats you appropriately, whose mindset that you respect. And I think that the time and energy that's spent to fund those that are not giving you a return on your value, a return, an ROI, I think is inherently it's a waste of time and or energy.
I think it depends. You know, like I said, you felt like this person isn't getting an ROI in this moment, but here I am on your show, and you're going to continue to see me on other shows. And, you know, the ROI is then going to come his way because he has done XYZ for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And here's the thing is that, like, for every one of you, there's a bunch that never make it, right? There's a bunch that live this lifestyle and they just get stuck and they never get out the hood. And we don't get to hear their stories as much. I mean, you could probably rattle them off. You know what I'm saying? So would you consider yourself one of the lucky ones?
I would consider myself, you know, I'm getting there. I'm working on it. You know, I got a couple streams of income coming in that don't have to do with OnlyFans, because that was just like a Corona thing. Because prior to Corona, I was not doing, I didn't have OnlyFans. But yeah, so I think, you know, we're going to see. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Yeah, and that OnlyFans thing, you know, I mean, I know you've talked about this before, but where that platform can potentially be going now that they're trying to go mainstream. So
and I'm excited for that. I have a lot of other things I could teach that got nothing to do with my ass and tits.
So would you ever start a YouTube channel?
I'm thinking about it, you know.
Listen, you do that. You're gonna give me endless content, girl. you do that. Oh my God. You absolutely do that. Jesus. So last question. Have you ever seen the movies Hustlers?
With J-Lo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so do you believe in what that movie teaches? Do you support it?
Do I believe and support what that movie? That's more like lying and stealing, you know what I mean? So I'm not really on the same page as lying, stealing, and scamming. I'm more about being transparent. Ladies, if you have a issue or a problem, like, speak up to the man that you're around. You know, men that really care about you are going to assist you, period. Men that really hear your problems out and really hear where you are in your life and where you want to go are going to assist you. And that's the truth. Like,
all right.
men who don't care are not going to assist you. And those are the men you need to stay away from.
Listen. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm happy that we was able to come up here and we can have a discussion about this. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, you know, it's not within the theme of the channel to stay within our echo chamber and not talk about things, you know, within pop culture and society today without getting, you know, an alternate perspective, an alternate view. So I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate you having a discussion with me. Absolutely. All right. And here's the last thing. As you doing these interviews with folks, you got to be on time to thing, girls. Jesus Christ. I was over here like, is she coming or not? You know what I'm saying? So work on your schedule. All right. But at the end of the day, thank you so much for, you know, having this respectful conversation, this respectful discourse as well. I really do appreciate that. All right.
Okay. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Take care. All right, guys. I think the goals of this stream were particularly met. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to have a discussion. I wanted to make sure that of the things that we were talking about within the sector, we can pressure test those things from outside opinions and challenge those to ensure that we know what we're talking about at the end of the day, right? Because it's not fair to sit within one space, not get challenged, and just have a group of people around us that agree with us wholeheartedly. I was making sure to ask these questions in a way to not judge or anything like that, so that it can be used as information, as education to go back and see whose points really stood up under the test of time. She kept it real. She kept it honest. And that's all you can ask for at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody that came through in the building. Listen, after party is going to be in my Discord. It's going to be on my Patreon. Go sign up to my Patreon. We're going to do after party discussion within my Discord. Sign up to that level and then come and join us. All right. We got a bunch of benefits in the Patreon as well when it comes to improving your value, when it comes to increasing and improving who you are as a man. All right. If you need financial advice, financial education, right? Information about developing your masculinity, dating questions, this, that, and the third. That's how you get closer to me. That's how you get closer to the inner circle so we can have these conversations. Tomorrow, we're actually going to be doing Wealth Chat Wednesdays, where we discuss financial topics, all in the idea of financial independence and retiring early, which the majority of you guys on the channel already know that I'm a major fan of, on my way towards completing that as we speak. But thank you guys. Hit on that like button right now. Hit on that like button right now. Shout out to the chat. You guys kept it classy in here today. I wholeheartedly appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? That's how you tease out the best information for discussions. All right. Until next time, YouTube. Peace. After party on the Discord. Let's go.